Yes, my name is Antonio Dwayne McCloud. Actor, rapper, extraordinaire, also model, ghostwriter of the Machiavelli album. All right, first off, I just want to talk about how I became a ghostwriter for Tupac and Biggie Smalls. All right. You know, Biggie used to talk about having Detroit players that, cats that he fuck with, and, so one of his partners came to me. His name is Rock. This was in spring of 1995. And he said to me, man, Big getting raped on his publishing by P. Diddy. And, so he went on to say that P. Diddy had bought part of his publishing for $40,000 when it was actually worth millions of dollars. So I said, look, listen, I can't help him legally or financially, but I am a writer for BMI. I'm registered as a writer. What I can do is that I'll write some lyrics for him. And, as far as him having to give away publishing, or not give away, but be accountable for type of publishing that those lyrics account for. If I wrote it, then it's nothing that P. Diddy can do as far as the publishing concerning those lyrics. You understand what I'm saying? So, to make a long story short, I told Rock, and mind you, Rock had an uncle that sold dope for the CIA. I can't mention his name, and I'm not mentioning Rock's real name, but he was from Detroit, one of Big's Detroit players. And so I told him, look, I'm not gonna leave Tupac out of the equation because I didn't like what happened at Quad City Studios, how he got shot and Biggie's involvement. So what I actually ended up giving Biggie is lyrics that pretty much puts him there, like as far as the incident. And I pretty much had him admit that his involvement with that shooting. And, so I wrote for him 10 Crack Commandments, What's Beef, Nobody Till Somebody Kill You, and Long Kiss Goodnight. So, I had some things on the All Eyes on Me CD before the Machiavelli album. No More Pain, I Ain't Mad at You, I'd Rather Be Nigga, and that was pretty much it. So, and what I wrote on the Machiavelli album for Tupac was Hail Mary, Blasphemy, Against All Odds, and Crazy. So, everything that I wrote, I did do the chorus hook for Hit 'Em Up. I did the chorus hook for Who Shot You. All right, so now, everything that I wrote, they were going against each other with those lyrics. I said, look, they got a problem, handle it this way. You understand what I'm saying? So maybe it wasn't the right thing to do. I was like, if you got a problem, handle it this way. Let's put it on wax. So the media followed behind what I wrote. Death Row and Bad Boy followed behind it. People in the street and East and West Coast, they followed behind. They followed suit with what I orchestrated. I pretty much orchestrated the beef with what I wrote. Once the lyrics got to the copyright office, they got, pretty much the CIA got word to Big that them lyrics was there for him, and they got word to Tupac that lyrics was there for him, and that's how they end up rapping those lyrics. So I never in a million years thought that it would end in both of their deaths. I never thought that it would get that far, but it did. And when Tupac died, some random person just offered me a ticket to go see a Wake Forest football game. And I didn't know who I was gonna meet there, but he introduced me to Tupac's publicist. Her name is Taliba Mbonisi. And she talked about, the lyrics that I had wrote for Pac and telling me that he got them and everything. Then she said that I had to give permission for them to release the Machiavelli album after Tupac was already dead. So I had to give my consent for them to release it. Well, and it was a verbal recording of me stating that I give clearance to release the Machiavelli album. So, the catch was, she said if I wanted to get paid, I had to sue Death Row. And I wasn't willing to do that. I wasn't trying to wind up with a cinder block around my waist or ankles in the river somewhere dead or buried somewhere where couldn't nobody find me. Death Row was that powerful back then. So I wasn't trying to go through that. And then, believe it or not, they say, well, you wrote for Tupac and Biggie. Well, who were you with? I mean, actually, I preferred Tupac, and as far as me not suing Death Row, if you can't beat them, join them. So eventually, I got my Tupac shrine, and I got my Chevy Impala, which most employees for Death Row had an Impala, and they all had a Tupac shrine in their house. So, it was thing about if you can't beat them, join them. So, but I was already a big Tupac fan anyway. So, years later, I think about in 2002, I was doing some volunteer acting at the School of the Arts. So one day, this federal agent approached me and said, we investigating the murders of Tupac and Biggie. So I said, well, what do you want with me? It's like, do you want to discuss what your lyrics mean, and we want to have, ongoing dialogue about what all the lyrics that you wrote for Tupac and Big actually meant. So we went on for we talked about this for maybe 3 months off and on, this mean that, this mean this, this mean that. One, I give you an example, when Tupac said, load him up against the wall, close his eyes, since you lie, you die, goodbye. So when he said that, they was like, well, what do you mean load him up against the wall? I was like, that was St. Valentine's Day murder, Al Capone and how he killed other mob bosses. That was the analogy for that. It was a metaphor, and wasn't nobody ever supposed to figure it out that I was referring to that. You understand what I'm saying? So, what ended up happening is, after I talked to them for about maybe 3 months, they brought this contract. and it said, look, you need to sign your copyright and your publishing over to us because we don't want you suing Afeni and, which is his estate, and we don't want you suing Valletta Wallace. So, and then they threatened me with different things that I was involved in my early years. They said that we could bring them charges back up, and if you don't sign it, we're gonna make it hard for you. So of course I signed it. Then after they had muscled me, they had the nerve to ask me, did I mind if anybody used the rest of the lyrics? Because Tupac and Biggie didn't use all the lyrics that was on that copyright. So I said, I don't mind, of course they can use it. So the feds gave the rest of the lyrics to T.I. 50 Cent. 50 Cent used 4 songs on Get Rich or Die Trying, and those songs were Many Men, 21 Questions, PIMP, and In the Club. And then T.I. used 4 songs on the Urban Legend, which was a Rubber Band Man, You Don't Know Me, Motivation, and ASAP. So, I didn't mind. I had people coming up to me that knew about what I had signed over and knew about the copyright and had seen the copyright. I had people at the club giving me T.I.'s album and say, man, you need to listen to this. I was like, what do I need to listen to it for? So I listened to it. I heard some of my songs on there. I was like, okay. I wasn't thrilled about it. But when I heard what 50 did with some of the lyrics, I was like, man, he really tore it up. He really did good. So I continue to go to college, continue to pursue acting and modeling and things of that nature. And I even pursued a rap career. And so years later, I think this was like after I had got my pension from the VA. And then see, the thing about it is that even though they didn't pay me, God wound up taking care of me and what my attributes were and things that I should have got paid for, I got paid in a different way. God actually took care of me. So, I made $48,000 a year tax-free. So, who won? That's what I said, But, so I moved around a little bit and, I was in a better apartment than I was. And I want to tell you the reasons why I wrote the book, Ghostwriting. Somebody knocked out my car windows in my apartment complex. And it was I don't know who it was, but while I was cleaning up my glass, it was a black guy in a BMW sitting there watching me while I cleaned up my glass. And he looked like he was probably from New York. So I thought about it. I was like, maybe the black mob watching me because, the black mob, they drive those BMWs mainly so they can get away from the cops. But, I know people that is affiliated with the black mob. The guy that sold dope for the CIA, he probably black mob, but, that's neither here nor there. I don't know for sure that he is connected with that. But, so I felt like my life was in danger because I didn't know who was coming at me. So I said, look, before I leave here, I'm gonna let people know why they got to me. Like, I'm gonna let people know why I'm in the ground 6 feet deep, why they actually killed me. So I wrote the book, Ghostwriter Antonio McCloud, You Ain't Never Had a Friend Like Me, which is a quote from Tupac. I felt like he was talking to people that rode with him and, that really supported him. He's like, you ain't never had a friend like me. So I quoted that and put it on the cover of the book. And it's Ghostwriter, the Machiavelli album. And in the back of the book, it's a letter from Obama dealing with some that's his signature right there. Dealing with some resolutions I wrote to him while he was in office. Because what Tupac said, he said, when election time come around, we're gonna be sitting right across from him. So I try to carry out those dreams. Me writing those resolutions was me sitting right across from the elected officials. And then I feel like the 7-year theory really did happen. There was a guy that he was wrongfully convicted and did 19 years in prison, and they had DNA evidence proving his innocence. His name was Daryl Hunt. He was affiliated with the Black Panthers locally here in Winston-Salem. Larry Little was the head of the Black Panthers, who was overseeing and appointing lawyers for his case. And so Larry Little, the head of the Black Panthers here in Winston, asked me to do a protest song for Daryl Hunt. Like I say, the 7-year theory really happened because that whole situation happened 7 years after Tupac's death. And I recreated Pac's likeness in the song, in the video. And I sounded like him when I was doing it. It's called Daryl Hunt Video. You can pull it up on YouTube. And so I felt like I really accomplished something doing that. I had a lot of fun doing some revolutionary activity. And, things are going a whole lot better now that I'm settled and now that I'm grounded. I wrote the book, but, I'm still here after maybe 4 or 5 years after that incident happened with my car windows being knocked out. And, but I'm happy, I'm not rich, but I'm comfortable, so I just feel like, and by the way, you can go get the book on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles. You can pull the book up if you put in Ghostwriter Antonio McCloud, Antonio, last name McCloud. And you can pull the book up and you can buy it for $20 on Amazon or Barnes and Nobles. And I appreciate all the viewers and all the listeners, and and I wanted to say one thing. It ain't only the fans that know who I am. It's like people in the music industry. They know the truth about who orchestrated what, who orchestrated the beef between Tupac and Big. There's a lot of people in the music industry that know the truth. A regular Joe Smo, a common person that's not in the music industry is not gonna know what my contribution was to that whole scenario. They're not gonna know. So I'm not. I didn't write the book to get some kind of credit. I wrote the book to protect myself. It was one of those things that was bound to happen. I was gonna have to come forward and be among and present myself to the world to let them know what my involvement was and what my contribution was. So, my name is Antonio Dwayne McCloud, And I'm signing off, and I'll see you in famous world, as we always say. Take it easy.
Can you talk about when you saw Tupac at the A&M homecoming?
AT&T?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, no, A&T.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Tupac was scheduled to perform at the 1993 North Carolina A&T homecoming. And I played football at A&T, and we lost to Howard on BET that day. But I'm going to tell you like this. I could take a loss when I know that Tupac Shakur, Ice Cube, MC Lyte, and Queen Latifah and Yo-Yo is gonna be at the concert. I take a loss. I take a loss to enjoy that concert any day. You know, so it's like, and he did that song, Gotta Get Yours, Gotta Get Mine, and I was all in it, man. And I'm gonna tell you, like, what really happened was, I know how to use telepathy, and I spoke to Tupac while he was on stage. I told him, I said, I had a black hoodie on, I was really meditating. I said that whatever you start, I'm gonna finish. That was before I wrote for him, that was before everything. And I know he knew I was out there. He heard me, you know. I know it sounds crazy, but I mean, I was really on another level at that time. But you have any more questions?
Yeah. So you talked about how you met with Tupac's publicist at the Wake Forest football game.
Yeah. She was a Wake Forest alumnus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And she asked you to sign over the rights to the Machiavelli album, but earlier you talked about writing for All Eyes on Me. So did they just sort of like...
They didn't say nothing about All Eyes on Me because he was still alive. That was over and done with, you know. To be honest with you, I had more rights to the Machiavelli album than Death Row and Tupac's Estate because I wrote it. You know, so it wasn't a signature, it was a verbal agreement.
And you said earlier that you didn't really see the East-West Coast beef ending with Biggie and Tupac getting shot. What do you think about the people who believe that Tupac is still alive and he's living in exile in Cuba? What do you think about the theory behind that and like some people's thought process about that?
Well, it's possible. I had a Panther member come up and tell me that that Tupac was in Haiti and that he sleeps in a warehouse and he do target practice with his guns in a warehouse in Haiti. This was a former Panther member that told me this. Whether I believe it or not, it was said, you know. So I don't know if Tupac is alive or dead. I mean, you know, I do care. I hope he is alive, but I mean, it's not really going to change my situation.
And could you talk a little bit about just sort of your connection to your faith and how you incorporate it into your lyrics and your sort of way of life and all that?
Well, Tupac is like a god to me. You know, it's like 2,000 years ago, Jesus was Yahshua ben Pandora, being son of Pandora, being son of the Panthers. 2,000 years later, Tupac was born to the Panther movement, and he had a spiritual holy name that is in comparison with the name Yahshua, which Tupac was a powerful name. Shakur was a holy name, just like Pandora, you know. So I believe that Pac came to save black people, but they wasn't ready.
Do you know what Amaru means? Is that part of his name?
Amura, I don't know exactly what Amura means. No, it means grateful to God. I think Tupac is Shining Serpent. Amura means grateful to God, and I think Shakur is just considered a holy name, an Arabic holy name.